Hey guys, September 28th, 2024, it's Saturday, and today we're going to make some smoked butternut squash on the Pit Boss pellet grill. I have a couple of knives because typically these are not easy to cut. So we're going to cut off an end, we're going to cut off the other end, and I'm surprised this one's actually not too bad. This is quite large for a butternut, but cutting it right down the middle can be challenging. But we're going to try, see how it works out. And you kind of have to do this in baby steps. Just take your time. Watch you don't cut your fingers off, because we need them all, especially our thumbs. So you want to keep your thumbs. So very carefully cut your squash in half. Some of the older ones, the skin is really, or as I like to call it, the hide is really tough, and it's difficult to cut. I'm going to save some of these seeds, and next year, because these are really nice squash, so I want this genetics, heritage, whatever you'd like to call it, in my garden next year. So I'm going to save some of these, and we will stick them in the fridge so that they get that cold snap that they need. And then we're going to go grab a spoon after I trim out the majority of this. Let me get these seeds cleaned up and we'll be right back. What we're going to do next is we're going to score this squash. And I kind of like to go deep when I score them, because this is going to allow the seasonings to penetrate where they wouldn't be able to if you didn't do this. So we're going to score both pieces up, and like I said, this is actually a pretty good sized squash. But that really works well. So let me get my oil, butter, and seasoning squared away, and we'll be right back and show you what's next. Okay, so we melted half a stick of butter and 4 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to use a teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to use a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And some people like this with cinnamon and nutmeg and all that on it, but I don't. I like an earthy kind of flavor. And we're going to use a teaspoon of black pepper. And that may seem like a lot, but it really isn't. And we're going to use a teaspoon of granulated garlic. And you can never have too much garlic. And then we're going to take our little whisk here, our brush, and we're going to mix this all up pretty well. And we're going to let this dissolve just a little bit in the butter and olive oil. And then we're going to baste it. We're not going to use it all because we're going to use some more of this later on in the smoking. This is going to soak into those grooves that we cut, and it's going to be extremely flavorful. Alright, so we're going to take this out to the pellet smoker. We're going to get that fired up. We're going to put our smoke stick in there, and we're going to get this going. Typically, to get these soft enough and ready to go, it's 2.5 to 3 hours, 300 degrees, but it depends on the thickness of the squash and how ripe it was when you harvested or picked it or bought it. And I hate to say it, but yeah, once again, we'll be back soon. All right, so it's been about an hour and a half, 300 degrees. Another hour and a half to go. I just flipped them over, and I'm going to baste them with our seasoning, butter, and olive oil mix. And in about an hour, I'm going to check them with a fork. And if they're doing well, the fork should just push right through the squash, which means it's pretty near done. All right, guys, so here we are, 3 hours later, 300 degrees. And this is crazy good. The fork, almost just the weight of the fork falls through it. So let's have a little taste. I wish you could smell this. All right, guys, enjoy your what's left of the weekend, and we'll talk soon. Take care.